Healing field engaged. Heroes never die.
Thanks.
Enemy turret ahead. Severe. Let's get you back out there.
Feeling sprung.
Dein Schutzengel ist da.
Now, hold on.
I will watch over you. Agony for the soul. Handle as you say. Damage increased. You needed a doctor?
Oh, let's break it! Damn! Days are untreated. Are you?
Mercy and the righteous.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Parvor. Welcome back, and in today's Overwatch video I am bringing you the new Mercy. That's right, something different other than Pharah, this time. Actually I have to admit, I really like the new Mercy a lot. The first clip that you saw earlier was I went to, obviously I did Guardian Angel to a teammate to try to revive him, but by the time I flew to him, his icon disappeared, so now I'm basically out of place, and a Junkrat tried to challenge me, and rather surprisingly he lost, and I put him to shame by just whacking him with my pistol at the end because he tried diving at me. The second clip you saw was basically me doing her new ultimate, Valkyrie, and how do I say, basically healing the entire team or giving them a damage boost because they were grouped up. And I have to admit, I really like that a lot. Her Valkyrie does chain to other teammates if they're, I think it's when they're in line of sight of each other. I'm not too sure on that, or if it just has a certain range, even if they go kind of a distance, but still. I actually wanted to talk about that while this gameplay in Junkertown is taking place, and I've heard that a lot of people don't like the new Mercy. Some people are saying she's too overpowered or whatever, and some people are actually saying they prefer the old Mercy better. And I have to admit, in my opinion, I actually prefer this new Mercy. To the old Mercy, obviously when you had your ultimate and you wanted to res, you kind of had to go hide, or if you didn't want to hide, you have to kind of watch the team, or let's say 3 of your teammates are weak, and because Mercy's like a solo healer and you can't heal all 3 at once, you'll tell them that you're gonna let them die for a moment and then res all 3 of them really quick. So I have to admit, I did that a couple of times. Obviously I wouldn't go for like the huge 4 or 5 man res because I wanted to win. I didn't specifically want to wait for that. But anyway, in regards to the new Mercy, from what I see as far as the new playstyle, she's still basically a very good healer. Now this gameplay first starts off in a handicap match. It turns out just being me, and I think 2 other players, and then like 3 other players wind up joining towards in this section around here. So but I do notice that a lot of players are making the huge mistake that just because Mercy has this new playstyle, when they do her ultimate, instead of doing what they should be doing, they're turning into battle Mercies and basically still costing their team. And the reason I say that is because if you keep this in mind, let's say you choose Mercy, and then let's say you guys do have a second healer, Zenyatta, Anna, or maybe even Lucio. You got to keep this in mind. Just because you how do I say this? Just because you do your ultimate doesn't necessarily mean all of a sudden your teammates don't need healing anymore. You should, even though you do Valkyrie, you should still heal and damage boost your team whenever need be. It actually helps them win the fight even better, as I showed you in the second clip, when I did my ultimate and I started healing and damage boosting them instead of whipping out my pistol and trying to shoot the enemies myself. The new Mercy, you have to actually kind of play like when Orisa drops her bongo drum and damage boosts everybody. That's pretty much the same thing you need to do with Mercy. Just don't whip out your pistol, just heal your teammates and give them a damage boost, because as long as they're grouped up together, it'll chain link to them. And instead of you healing like just one specific hero, it chain links to all of them that are within the group, and basically now you're healing like 4, 5. You might even be healing the whole entire team because they're all grouped up. So that's pretty much my opinion on how you should be playing the new Mercy. I'm actually having a lot of fun with her. Does that mean I'm going to give up Pharah and start playing Mercy? No, of course not. I still like Pharah a lot. Now, another tip that you may want to consider when doing this new Mercy, when it comes to healing, you really should focus on trying to keep your tanks alive, because obviously it's the tanks that sponge the most damage. They can take more of a beating than all the other characters before they go down. So it's best to prioritize keeping your tanks alive. You know, obviously if you have 2 tanks, like in this case I had my teammates have Zarya and D.Va, when they're both taking damage, you know, heal one and kind of switch to the other one. That way, you know, the first one can sponge a little bit of the damage while you heal the second one, then go back to the first, pretty much like alternating till you get both of them healed up. Another thing that you definitely want to keep this in mind is regarding D.Va. Now we all know that obviously D.Va has that nerf to her defense matrix, but D.Va is really vulnerable when she's out of the mech. Yeah, she is a tank, but when she's out of the mech, she's a squishy. But I notice a lot of Mercy players don't do this. When D.Va is out of her mech and she calls it back in, she still has to go through the animation of jumping in it, and a lot of times she actually dies before she even gets back in the mech. So you might want to keep this in mind. As D.Va calls back in her mech, keep her healed. You know, keep healing her till she is actually officially in the mech. That way, you know, she has to survive, and you basically have your tank back in your team. Now, I'm not really a big Mercy player as far as pharmacy is concerned. I do it here and there, but I honestly don't do like other Mercies who just stay stuck on Pharah the whole game. You know, there's other players who need healing, of course. So as you can see, I keep zipping around here and there, healing teammates. And even if when they are healed up, I sometimes just out of habit, I keep topping them off just to be safe. And that's another thing I actually like about this new Mercy. Her Guardian Angel, I believe it looks like she has a speed boost to it. Besides when she's doing her ultimate, when you're just playing regular, I think her Guardian Angel does have somewhat of a speed boost. So it's actually kind of good if you're taking Mercy, if your team stays somewhat spread out. That way you can be zipping around back and forth, and you actually wind up dying less in that way. Because now with this new Mercy, I have to admit, and I do notice this a lot, the enemies will be targeting you constantly, trying to get rid of you, especially since you have that new res ability to stretch out fights even longer. Anyway, that's pretty much about it. As you can see, I'm alternating between the tanks as far as healing. As you see, I did D.Va, then I jumped back on Zarya. See, and now I'm back on D.Va again. So keep that in mind as far as how you play out the new Mercy. But anyway, that's pretty much about it. I hope you guys enjoy the rest of this video. If you do, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe. I appreciate all the support, and I'll see you on the next one. Hope you enjoy. Bye.
Ich bin da. Damage amplified. Rocket barrage. Fire at will. Targets detected. No one can hide. Healing stream engaged. Now we're talking. This is not the end. Translocating. Thank you. Understood. Patching you up. You must like me. I'm taking care of you. Contact. Let me get you patched up. Damn it. Verdammt. I'm being attacked. You needed a doctor? This is not your time. Damage increased. They're all over me. I will watch over you. Schaden verstärkt. I'm out. Get them off me. Bang. Damn it. Performance level. Verdammt. Let's get you back out there. No one can hide my sight. I still love you. Let me get you patched up. They're all over me.
60 seconds remaining.
Bang. I'm taking care of you. Damage amplified.
Meteor strike!
Bang! Behind you! Some assistance.
30 seconds remaining.
Other defense.
Under attack.
You have my thanks.
I will watch over you.
Eyes on my side.
Just
I know.
you still need me. Mega Echo. Struck sequence. Damage boost engaged. Bang. Valkyrie online. Your support has arrived. Heroes never die. Ich kümmere mich um dich. Fire at will. Help me. You need a doctor? Always good. You should be at peak performance levels. I am
Victory. Play of the game.
gemeinsam kämpfen wir. Justice reigns from above.
Epic.
Excellent.